Alright, we continue on with our story. Of course, David is then back with Saul and his palace, and you remember the palace. We showed you this picture, and we had the stones that we'd seen and so on. And so this hill is the setting of so much of these stories, where remember that David marries Michal, and Saul is getting upset at him, and Michal helps him, and then Jonathan helps him, and you remember the story of Jonathan helping David. So this is looking from that palace towards Jerusalem and Bethlehem. So this is where they're shooting the arrows and so on. All of that happens right here in this area. Okay, just to show you where it is on the map, here's Jerusalem, here's Gibeah. That's where it's all happening. And as David flees from Jerusalem down to Bethlehem, he's coming out and away. It's only about 10 miles. It's not far. Now we know that as David flees, he comes from here and stops in Nob. This is where he will eat of the shewbread and use the Urim and Thummim. We'll talk about that. Or the ephod is how it is in the reading. And then fly down here. And Saul will later kill all of the priests there that helped him. Now as we kind of expand the map out, you'll see he eventually goes down to Gath. A very strange choice since he's just defeated their hero. But anyway, he goes there. They want to kill him. He gets away by feigning madness. And now he's just going to have to try and get along on his own. So he's going to flee down here. Now remember, David grows up as a shepherd, and so he's semi-nomadic, taking the sheep all up and down here wherever is good grazing. And so that's what he's going to do, is try and get by in these areas that he knows so well. So of course he starts killing, or fighting different places. He basically becomes a mercenary, and he gathers this large group, and he's going around fighting Philistines and different things. Eventually, in trying to escape Saul, he goes down from Jerusalem down towards the Red Sea to what's known as Ein Gedi. Right here. Here's Ein Gedi, which is also the rocks of the wild goats, and it's a little wadi here that he goes up into to hide. Just thought I'd show you a few pictures of Ein Gedi. There's still lots of wild goats or ibex there, and it's riddled with caves. It's this wadi that goes way up in there, riddled with caves, and these are the places where David finds Saul, or David is actually in the cave when Saul comes. And it's also got a number of springs. Ein means spring. It's the spring of Gedi. It's got some springs there. That's why he's up in there. Whoops. To make it so that he can get by. And there are all sorts of little creatures there they can catch and eat. And you can see it actually gets to be quite a beautiful place. And this is why he's there when he flees from Saul. And again, it's in these caves where he'll have the opportunity to kill Saul, but does not take it. The story then moves north. It moves south to where he's still fleeing in this Judean. He's staying in the countryside of Judea, the tribe of Judah that he's from, and it's there that he comes across this man named Nabal, who does not want to help him. In any case, Nabal is saved by his wife Abigail, who will become one of David's wife, as Nabal, who's a fool, and that's really what his name means. I don't think it's his real name, but anyway, Abigail comes to his rescue and becomes one of David's wife. Now, there's some confusion as to exactly where this story takes place, because Carmel and Jezreel are typically thought of as being north, but there may be some places with similar names down south, which is where David seems to be at this time. And some of the other areas mentioned around this story are south. So we're not exactly sure where this is. In any case, David is spending his time running around trying to avoid Saul.